Hi, Phillip Ralph here. Uncertainty is the only certainty in today's world. Economic shifts, rapid technological advancements, and unexpected crises like the pandemic have reshaped our professional lives. 74% of employees report feeling stressed about the future of their jobs due to automation and economic instability. Only 15% of employees worldwide feel engaged at work during turbulent times. And we know those engagement figures are low regardless, but particularly in challenging times. So the question is, how can we guide our teams to resilience when the path ahead is so unclear? So first of all, why leading with integrity and heart matters? Leadership is uncertainty. In uncertainty has a ripple effect. Calm and ethical leadership fosters trust, while fear-based leadership breeds disengagement. 93% of employees are more likely to stay with an empathetic employer, while 82% would leave an unempathetic one. During the pandemic, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella prioritised employee well-being over short-term profit, encouraging flexibility and mental health support. The result? A 21% increase or rise in employee satisfaction and record productivity. Integrity builds trust. Leaders who are consistent and transparent create a culture of stability. I love the quote by Stephen Covey, "Trust is the glue of life. It's the most essential ingredient in effective communication." So, what are some of the common leadership challenges in uncertain times that we need to be wary of? First one, decision making under pressure. Leaders may react impulsively rather than strategically. Emotional distress among teams. Employees may feel anxious, disengaged, or even burnt out. There's a temptation to compromise values. Ethical shortcuts may seem appealing for short-term gains. The impact of poor leadership in crises. 50% of employees say that they've left a job due to poor leadership. That data is from last year. Companies with strong ethical leadership outperform their competitors by 5 to 7% annually. So, what are some practical tips for leading with integrity and heart? I'm going to provide or offer 5. First one, cultivating psychological safety. It's been around for a while now, but it's such a foundational principle. Employees should feel safe expressing concerns and admitting mistakes. We know the often quoted project Aristotle from Google found teams with high psychological safety outperformed others significantly. So, one actionable tip. We should try and model vulnerability by sharing our own challenges. Tip 2, values-based decision making. Ensure decisions align with ethical and organisational values, and our own values for that matter. Patagonia's leadership prioritised sustainability, staying true to their values even when profits were at stake. Actionable tip, before making a tough call, ask, does this align with our core values? Tip number 3, servant leadership. Prioritise the team's needs over our own personal gain. Starbucks' Howard Schultz reinstated employee benefits during economic downturns to maintain trust. So an actionable tip may be, identify one obstacle you can remove for your team today. Tip 4, recognising and addressing bias. Unconscious biases influence decision making without us even realising it. One example, companies with diverse leadership teams outperform peers by 36% according to a McKinsey study. Actionable tip, implement blind evaluations and unconscious bias training. Tip number 5, speaking up and speaking out. Foster ethical accountability by encouraging open communication. Example, whistleblowing protections in ethical organisations increase trust and transparency. Actionable tip, create a speak up culture where concerns are addressed without fear of retaliation. There are so many examples of what a speak up culture can do, from the sinking of the El Faro, which was a container ship, and direct analysis of the culture and what happened in the immediate hours before that is pretty stark and amazing in terms of the crew not feeling they could speak up in the presence of the captain about the dangers they saw. Finally, a call to action. Some reflective questions for us to think about. Are you making decisions that align with your values? How often do you prioritise empathy, in your daily interactions. And I'd encourage one small action. Hold an open conversation with your team this week. Identify one decision you could make with greater integrity. So in times of uncertainty, our leadership defines our path forward. Lead with integrity, lead with heart, and you'll build a strong foundation of trust, safety, and ultimately performance in your team. Thank you.